Hi guys, we're here now with some of my favorite pistols and knives. Uh, Let me introduce to you. I'm not here to clean them, they're all clean by the way. It's easier to clean pistols than rifles. As you notice, for those who know, they're all Glocks. I'm not collecting them for the sake of just collecting them. I have them because for one reason they have come to my life as once a duty rifle, a duty pistol. I used to carry a 22 as my duty pistol when I used to be a guard, so I did get a Glock 22 so that I can shoot a 40 caliber. And it's not my favorite, it's actually my least favorite. That's why I'm introducing to you this one first. I did shoot this for 3 years. It did a number on my wrist because, you know, if you have a juvenile size wrist, it can get snappy and hurt eventually. I do have this Glock 20. This is my bear gun. I know some say it's not heavy enough, some say it's not as strong as other calibers, but it works for me. And then it just feels to me as if I was shooting a 45 with some you know, drugs or something. If they're amped, that's how it feels, you know, like it's like somebody like a 45 and steroids. So I really like using this, although this pistol I cannot shoot with one hand, obviously. But I'm sure a full-grown person can. But I like shooting this, but not a lot because, of course, the ammo is not very cheap. It's a special gun. Anyway, I enjoy having this as my secondary sidearm when I go hunting. This is my Glock 19. Wade gave this to me during our an engagement, as an engagement present in 2010, so it's quite a while. It's the most abused gun. I've shot the Glock as my first ever pistol in my life in the Philippines. My dad's Glock 17 at that time, and I've always gotten used to Glocks for no special reason, just a preference. It's the same feature, similar to the Smith & Wesson, but I don't seem to like the grip of the Smith & Wesson. It digs into my skin, so when I shoot, after a while, it gets really raw. So like I said in my previous video, you pick a firearm depending on your needs. If your friends say, you know, you should buy this because it's cool, I don't care about cool. What I care about is what fits my my hand. I have raccoon hands, if you guys haven't noticed yet. I have small hands, so I'm very picky in the kind of grip that I buy. So if they say, you know, if it hurts your hand, just buy a you know, aftermarket grip, then it becomes thick, then it becomes less fun because I have to change the way I you know hold the pistol. So, you know, like I said, the less bells and whistles I put in my firearm, the better. So the Glock doesn't hurt me. This is the old model, probably generation 4. I like it. It doesn't have that straight cut. It still has this grooves here that fits your hand. So the Glock 19 is a special favorite. It's very hard to conceal this though. This is, I would just open carry it and wear a jacket to cover it. So that's what I would do. So the Glock 44 is a 22. What I like about this is, you know, you can plink around. It's very light. You would think it's a toy gun. So, you know, of course I'm pointing at the right direction at this point, just so you know. I'm still thinking about gun safety at this point. I'm still in the same room. I'm way at the front here where everyone's in there, so I'm still aware of my gun safety, just just so you're aware. Anyway, back to the 22, the 44. I haven't used this a lot. I do hunt small animals with my Sport 2 22. I have a AR-15 platform for my 22 caliber rifle that I use. That's what I use for hunting small animals. But just to plink around, it's kind of fun. I like it. It hasn't disappointed me yet. There's a lot of people that has something to say, but I listen to what people have to say, but I always try to see what my experience will be. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I am just an aficionado, if I may call that. I enjoy shooting a lot, and I like to share my insights as a woman who's just enjoying the sport, and maybe help women out there who might want to share their insights as well. I also have this Glock 43. This is what I used to conceal. Yes, it's much easier. I'm not gonna say it's a perfect concealment, because I don't know if there's a perfect concealed pistol for someone my size. It's really hard. I do wear a size 0 or 1 pants, but I can get away with a size 2 pants, but it's gonna be baggy. I'm definitely gonna wear belt, because if I don't, it's just gonna fall. But if I do wear a size 2 pants with a pistol belt, then I can carry this appendix style. So for those who don't know, I'm not a teacher, but that's what I've learned. Appendix is where you put it here. So to me, it's the most convenient. I like seeing where my gun is. I don't like it in the back. I just don't have control. People can just grab it, and then what are you gonna do, right? So I carry it in my side if it's under my jacket. But appendix is my favorite place to put it. I know that there's a new one now, the XD, which has more rounds, 10 rounds for a little bit of space there. But I'm tossing between keeping the 43 or getting the XD. But like I said, I don't have a lot of real estate. So I mean, if I can hide the 43 and manage with a few rounds, it doesn't have a lot of rounds. So it just has this round 6. I'm sure if you're in California, this will work. But to each his own. For concealment right now, this is what I use. I also carry this in a small safe, like I said, in my drawer. Like I said in my previous video, I do have this safe with this security code that has the pistol, the Glock 43, and I keep it in here and there. I have the 2 magazines, and yes, the flashlight. Why not? If you're needing to see where you are, you gotta have your flashlight with you. And I keep it here safe in this small 1 pistol, tiny little safe over there. So here are my few of my Glocks that I have. I do have the counterpart for the Smith & Wesson family. So I'm going to talk about that in another episode, but right now it's all about the Glocks. Smith & Wesson do have their shield, which is the counterpart for the Glock 43, but it's another topic altogether. So yeah, when I do show my pistols, I like to see them all the way in the back, clear. You can see there's no ammo in there, and the well is empty. So when I show people, when I used to be in the back of the counter selling pistols in the gun store, this makes both the customer and the seller confident and safe. The more you see that the weapons are cleared out in a professional manner. People are not going to be scared. So I'm sharing this video just to encourage people. Don't be afraid of guns. I mean, without the people behind it, they are pretty useless. Instead of being afraid of them, get to know them, respect them, learn the safety rules, and then the more you're confident around them, which means you'll teach it to your children, and your children will teach it to their children, and the place is a safer place to be. Bad guys are not gonna respect gun rules, but you know, gun owners who are responsible will respect rules better. So I don't understand why you should stop owning guns. Anyway, that's an entirely different topic I'll throw out again. But just here to share you that these are the guns that work for me. When people tell you, hey, you need to buy a 1911, which I used to own in the past, but it starts getting old, having to clean it, having the spring jump on your face, and it just, when it starts being a chore, then the less you will use it, and you know, you'll end up selling it or giving it away. In my experience, I sold it to a friend in the Philippines, and hopefully he takes care of it. But I enjoy shooting it. I just don't enjoy cleaning it. But I don't mind the semi-automatics like the Glock. So, you know, if it's comfortable for you, why change, right? It's very economical. I do lean towards the 9mm. I am not a fan of the 40 caliber because it's too snappy, and I mean, if I'm comfortable with the 9 and it does the job, then why change, right? So I just keep it. So my concealed pistol is a 9. My 19 is a 9. So it's just, I don't have to keep changing calibers because that's gonna drive me nuts. I already have a 40mm here that I'm just gonna keep for posterity, you know, in remembrance of past days in the force. Anyway, so speaking of backups, when you do have your rifle and it goes down, you transition to your pistol. I know that's what's taught to us. That's correct. And what if your pistol goes down? What do you do next? So this is where the knives come in. There's a lot of school of thought for knives. Wherever you study knife defense classes, that will vary. But to me, I really lean towards Michael Janich's teaching under MBC, Martial Blade Concept. I've fallen in love with his teaching. It's just really very practical, and even a woman my size can easily, you know, grasp it. You know, of course, it's not the one-time thing. It's not like watching him do it and then you know it. You've got to do it on a regular basis. It's a forgettable skill. You can easily forget it if you don't, you know, practice it. That's why we train every day. That's why I call myself a forever student. Anyway, so let's go to my 3 most favorite of all of the Wharncliffe design. So Michael Janich, he designed the Wharncliffe, and this is my most favorite. So this is the Yojimbo 2. The Yojimbo is the bigger one, which I gave to my brother in the Philippines. I hope, bro, you're enjoying the Yojimbo. It's way too big for my raccoon hands. So this one I like the most because you can really dig in. You know, the smaller you are, your weapon should be big enough to put a little scare, you know. So when you rip someone, it really gives a really good dent. Anyway, I love this. However, when you do work in a building that says only 2.5-inch blade, then this one goes bye-bye. But when I'm not working, my weekend knife, this is in my hip. I love it. I have a training knife that is looking just like this. You know what they say, if you can train, with a training knife that is close to how your real, carry knife looks like, the better. Anyway, so next to that is this special knife, the 2.5-inch blade, which I use at work. It's called the Delica. I really love the Delica. Actually, this one is super used, and it's already needing some adjustments and maintenance. I love this because even if it's small, when you strike, it still has that Wharncliffe power. You'd think it's only a 2.5-inch blade, but you strike correctly and know where to hit the most, then you will give a good dent. But mind you, if you are going to strike, just know the parameters and the consequences of your action, because it is a deadly force. That's why we train in defense of yourself and others. So just remember in the back, you show your knife, make sure that you are responsible for what comes next. So anyway, those were my favorite, okay? Those were my favorite knives until Michael Janich, last year's camp, showed me this. Well, not me personally, but showed the class this. Oh my gosh. It's the Chicago knife. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's this one. It's this one in a 2.5-inch blade. So he has his signature over there, which is really cool. Michael Janich. He designed this. He works for Spyderco. Anyway, so this is like a 3 and some change inch knife in the Wharncliffe design. Even if this is a no-go, I have this, which is the same design with a 2.5-inch blade. So that's pretty cool. So yes, I like the Delica, but it's not the design I like. So when this came out, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like love at first sight. I'm like, I gotta have that knife. So yeah, it's not very common. You can't just find this anywhere. Like it's always, hard to find. So now that I was able to get this by 5x5 site, I got this from their site. So they are able to give you a custom design. They can even make you some a clip here that when you pull it out, it automatically opens. I'm not that fancy yet, so I just open it like that. I open it, like this. There's so many ways of opening it, but I will let the professionals teach you that, because I'm just a student. I'm a forever student. So I'll just teach you what I like to share on my, everyday. But there, I'm excited to show you. This is my favorite knife of all times now. It's like after seeing this, it's really hard to see other knives. Like I used to carry a Kershaw, like what else? Bench, KT, and all the other, even gosh, I forgot the others that I used to carry. Anyway, ever since I saw this knife, it's just like, oh my, it's just hard to beat this. So I try to keep them because I have a son who likes to steal my knives. His name is Hunter. He's like, Mom, I'll do chores. Which knife can I have? I'm like, no, son, these are special knives given by special people in the camp. But this one I ordered because, it's not easy to find. And so this is still my weekend knife. So if I'm not in the office, I'm not working, this is my knife. So here you have it. I'm not gonna be talking a lot in this episode. I just wanted to share a little bit of the side or the backup weapon of choice that I use. For all the women out there, before you buy a gun, don't be like me. Because the first time I bought a gun in 1998, 1999, it's the first gun I saw, and I immediately bought it. This guy was selling it to me and said, "Hey, you should try the Tanfoglio. It's a 9mm." I'm like, okay. I automatically bought it, and then when I got it, I realized that the you know the grip was too fat or too thick. So with my little raccoon hand, it's hard. You'll have to change how you hold it. You have to relearn. If I'm used to my dad's Glock 17, where I'm right there, buying the Tanfoglio is hard because it's a little chunkier. Don't be like me. Go to the range, rent different kinds of pistols, or if you like revolvers. I'm not opposed to revolvers. They're great guns too. They're just not my type. By all means, rent them and feel it and see what you like best, or what fits you, what fits your hand. Because the mistake some people do is, oh, this is a cool gun, I'll buy this, and it's then they end up selling it and giving it away. Anyway, yeah, don't make that mistake. And then for the women also buying guns, I know I have a friend who I've influenced in buying a gun to protect her home. I've asked her to take some classes, but it shouldn't just be one time. You still have to go to the range, even if you've taken basic classes, because it is a forgettable skill. It's an expendable skill to have. Sure, you can point and shoot, but sometimes we forget, the dynamics, hand-eye coordination, and all that. I am guilty of that. I mean, it's hard because, not so long ago, it was a normal every 6 months you qual, you're in the groove, but you're no longer in that environment. So you have to make an extra effort to start training yourself, instilling the gun safety rules, which is the most important thing before you even buy. Make sure that you know where to keep them. In fact, before you buy a gun, also, I think it's important to know where you keep it first. Like, you have a gun and you have children, you gotta have your safe first. That's just me, like I said. So anyway, it's nice chatting with you guys. Tomorrow is my defensive air class. So I'm not sure if they require side pistol, but I will be taking my Glock 19 just in case. We have some transition drills from a rifle to a pistol. So there, I'm excited. Hope to see you there. Have a good night.